Last video got interrupted by a knock at the door. So let's pick up here, and now we're going to graph them. So the domain that I'm looking for is when x is less than or equal to 0 and when x is greater than. So I'm going to start with this linear equation, and I know my beginning point's 1, and my slope is 2, so up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and then I'm going to reverse it. That doesn't change. But here's the deal. I don't care about the graph on the right-hand side, so I'm going to erase that. I only care about my domain when x is less than or equal to 0. So that's what that line looks like. Now, here you have a quadratic equation. You don't have to go into the whole writing equations with, P and Q and all that. What you're looking for is, one, you're looking for a vertex, and then you just want to know a couple points on either side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a table of values. Okay? And I know my vertex. To find my vertex is negative b over 2a. So my b value is negative 6. So negative and a negative 6 is a positive 6 over 2 times 1, which is 3. So when x is 3, what is my y value? So I'm just going to plug in 3 squared minus 18 plus 7. 9 minus 18 plus 7 is going to be negative 2. So my vertex is located at 3, negative 2. Okay? Now, I know it's going to hit the 0 right here because it wants to know when 0 is greater than 0. So I'm going to use 0 as another point, and I get 0 minus 0 plus 7. Okay, so when x is 0, y is 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's open circle. Now, this is my vertex. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use the properties of a parabola, and if it's 3 units from my vertex, it's going to be 3 units from my vertex over here. So that's another point on my quadratic equation. Now, I'm just going to use negative 2 right here, or excuse me, positive 2, and find out what another point is. So I get 2 squared minus 12 plus 7. 4 minus 12 plus 7, that's negative 1. So when x is 2, y is negative 1, and then I'm going to use my properties of the parabola. And so now I've got these points that I can use right here. And it goes all the way up. So that's what my graph looks like. How far left does it go? It goes forever on my piecewise function, and it goes forever on the right-hand side. So my domain is all real numbers. What is my range? It's going to go down forever, and it's going to go up forever. So all real numbers is my range. All right, let's do another one together. Okay, so again, you have a quadratic equation. So I'm going to find a vertex, and then I just want points on the left, points on the right of that vertex. So here, what I'm looking for is when x is less than negative 2 or when x is greater than or equal to negative 2. So my vertex, negative b over 2a, is my b value. I don't have one, so it's 0. So 0 over anything is 0. So it's going to start at 0. So here's my table of values. So when x is 0, my y value is 5. 4, 5. Okay? Now, that's my vertex. So I know it's going to go down in shape because it's starting, that negative means it's going to frown, it's going to go down. And I want some points to the left and some points to the right. So I'm going to use negative 1 as an x value, and I'm just going to solve it. So I get negative 2 times 1, which is positive 1, and then I get 3. So when x is negative 1, y is 3, and again, the properties of a parabola, I'm going to go over here. I do want to find out what happens when it hits my graph at 2. So I'm going to plug in 2 for here. And I get negative 2 times 4, which is negative 8, plus 5, and that gives me negative 3. So when x is 2, my y value is negative 3, and it's an open circle. And now I'm going to use my properties to do this. And so now my parabola is going to look like this when x is less than 2. Now, the second part is a linear equation. So if I begin at negative 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 7, and my slope is 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and here it's going to be closed circle, and I'm going to continue out my graph. And I only care about when x is greater than or equal to 2. So this is what my picture looks like. My domain goes all the way left and all the way right, so it's all real numbers. And my range goes all the way down and all the way up, so it's real numbers as well.